One of the things that makes us unique and special here at Vitality is our advanced interpretation techniques. Let me give you a great example of that. Oftentimes, when folks get their blood work back, they look at their list, they see the markers that are high and want to bring them down, and the markers that are low and want to bring them up. And that's not necessarily your best approach. Sometimes it's okay. Take, for example, vitamin D. If that comes back low, you might take vitamin D to try to bring it up. So this is what we call a one-to-one relationship, right? So the thing that is high, you try to bring down. The thing that is low, you try to bring up. Now, in the case of vitamin D, that's probably fine. However, if you know more about what's happening here, you can use some advanced ratios, calculations, and start to look at patterns of markers and establish a much better understanding of what's truly happening in your physiology, which then leads you to better interventions, which is then, of course, going to lead you to better results. Let me give you an example of this. Take the case of sodium. Now, sodium on its surface by itself, if you came back and saw that was low, you wouldn't necessarily want to just take more sodium, right? That's not how it works. But just looking straight at that marker can tell you a lot about the current level of hydration. And so you'd want to make some changes right now. However, if you tack that sodium onto your BUN or BUN, as well as your blood glucose, and if you also would like to, you can add on albumin there, and you can calculate things like your serum osmolarity. That'll actually tell you more about chronic hydration. And so now the difference between just looking at that single marker, sodium, versus those other four in relation to each other and making some calculations, you're differentiating between were you just dehydrated that morning, not a big deal, or is this a consistent pattern over time? You really need to start making some changes. But it can even go further than that, because if you look at something like the sodium to potassium ratio, yeah, that's telling you some more about hydration, but really it is a great marker of systemic global fatigue. And so now we're in a situation where it's like it has maybe nothing to do with your hydration, acute or chronic, and has a lot more to do with the fact that you are experiencing systemic fatigue, and therefore your solution is reduced training, more rest, maybe a different adaptogen, ashwagandha, more nutrition, some other aspect that is going to have to cure the systemic fatigue that you're going under and experiencing, and it's not really going to be solved by changing hydration. So hopefully that helps you understand a little bit of some of the advanced analytics we have and why we can oftentimes provide a lot more value in our interpretation, because we can get a more specific and direct plan, which gets you better results faster.